Welcome back to the power quality lecture series. We were discussing about various power quality monitoring or measuring equipments. In this video, we are going to discuss about flicker meters. And over the years, many different methods of measuring flicker have been developed. These methods range from using very simple RMS meters with flicker curves to elaborate flicker meters that actually uses tuned filters and the option to statistical analysis to evaluate the level of voltage flicker. So this section we discuss about various uh, types of flicker meter. Earlier stages, uh, uh, the various flicker standards are available. Uh, Although the United States does not currently have a standard for flicker measurements, there are IEEE standards that address flicker. IEEE standards 141 1993 and 590 1992 both contains uh, flicker curves that have been used as a guide for utilities to evaluate the severity of flicker within their system. Uh, in other countries, a standard methodology for measuring flicker has been established. The IEC flicker meter is a standard for measuring flicker in Europe, and many countries are currently adopting IEC standards. The IEC method for flicker measurement defined in IEC standard 61000/415. Formally, it is known as IEC 868, which is a very comprehensive approach to the flicker measurement. You can see that because of the complexity of quantifying the flicker levels, that are based upon human perception, the most comprehensive approach to measuring flicker is to use a flicker meter. So a flicker meter is essentially a device that demodulates the flicker signal, weights it according to the established flicker curves, and performs statistical analysis on the processed data. So generally these meters can be divided into three sections. In the first section, the input waveforms is demodulated, thus removing the carrier signal. As a result, the demodulator, as a result of this presence of demodulator, a DC offset and higher frequency terms are produced. The second section is removes the unwanted terms using any kind of filters, thus leaving only the modulating signal remaining, or the flicker signal is remaining. And the second section also consists of filters that weight the modulating signal according to the particular meter specification. And another section present usually consists of a statistical analysis provisions in the meter. So here you can see that a diagram of a IEC flicker meter. So the most established method for doing flicker measurement is using a IEC flicker meter, which consists of 5 blocks. You can see in this figure, it consists of 5 blocks. You can see the block 1. Here the block 1 is an input voltage adapter. You can see the block 1 is a input voltage adapter, and the block 2 is simply a squaring demodulator, a demodulator with a squaring multiplier. And block 3, you can see it consists of filters, weighting filters, And block 4 is a squaring and smoothing circuits. And block 5 is statistical evaluation of flicker level. These are the 5 major blocks in that IEC flicker meter. You can see different functions of different blocks. So block 1 is an input voltage adapter that scales the input half cycle RMS value to an internal reference value, internal reference level. So this allows flicker measurement to be made based upon a percentage ratio rather than be depend upon the input carrier voltage level. And an automatic gain control circuit with a 10% to 90% step response characteristics of 1 minute gives such a functionality. It imitates a well-known characteristics of human perception, wherein moderate level constant stimulate to the senses slowly become unnoticeable here. So a block 2 is a square law quadratic demodulator. So block 2 is simply a squaring demodulator that squares the input to a separate squares the input to separate the voltage fluctuation from the main voltage signal, thus simulating the behavior of the incandescent lamp. The objective of this block is to recapture the modulating signals while at the same time suppress the main frequency carrier signal. And block 3 consists of multiple filters, that is demodulator and weighting filters. Block 3 consists of multiple filters that serve to filter out the unwanted frequencies produced from the demodulator and also to weight the input signal according to the incandescent lamp eye brain response. It consists of 3 cascaded filters that actually filter out the components that have a frequencies higher than that of supply voltage and the DC component produced from the square law demodulator. And it also functions to weight the input signal according to the incandescent lamp eye brain response. So normally these filters are categorized as demodulator filter, which is first order high pass filter which is having a cutoff frequency of 0.05 Hz, and a sixth order low pass butterworth filter with a cutoff frequency 35 Hz. And the second category is weighting filter, which are usually band pass filter which actually models the frequency selective behavior of human eye, and it gives the basic transfer function for weighting filter as h of s equal to k omega 1 s divided by s square plus 2 lambda s plus omega 1 square, that is equal to 1 plus s by omega 2 divided by 1 plus s by omega 3 into 1 plus s by omega 4. And block 4 is a nonlinear variance estimator. It completes the eye brain response model as it consists of a squaring multiplier and sliding mean filter. It consists of a squaring multiplier and a sliding mean filter. So the voltage signal is squared to simulate the nonlinear eye brain response, while the sliding mean filter averages the signal to simulate the short-term storage effect of the brain. You know, the brain flicker is a visual effect, and the output of this block is considered to be the instantaneous flicker level, a level of 1 on the output of this block corresponding to the a perceptible flicker. And the purpose of the flicker meter is actually to provide the measurement method that would rated voltage fluctuation to units of visual sensation. The fifth block is statistical evaluation. This block 5 consists of the statistical analysis of instantaneous flicker level. The output of the block 4 is divided into suitable classes, thus creating a histogram. A probability density function is created based upon each class, and from this a cumulative distribution function can be formulated. So this part models the human irritability due to the flicker stimulation. Flicker is bearable if it occurs infrequently over short intervals. However, the tolerance decreases in the presence of increasing level of intensity or even frequency and duration. And the flicker level evaluation can be divided into two categories, that is short term and long term categories. Short term evaluation of flicker severity, or it can be represented as PST, is based upon the observation period of 10 minutes. This period is based upon the assessing the disturbances with a short duty cycle or those that produce continuous fluctuations. And PST can be found using the equation. It is written the square root of 0.0314 P01 plus 0.0525 P1S plus 0.0657 P3S plus 0.28 P10S plus 0.08 P50S, where the percentage P0.1, 1S, P1S, P3S, P10S, P50S are the flicker levels that are exceeded 0.1, 1, 3, 10 and 50% of the time respectively. And these values are taken from the cumulative distribution curve discussed previously. So a PST of 1 on the output of block 5 represent the objectionable or irritable limit of flicker. So that is one of the measurement of short term flicker severity. Then next one is the long term flicker severity. This can be represented. The need of long term assessment of flicker severity happens if the duty cycle is long or variable. This actually include the electric arc furnaces or disturbances on the system that are caused by multiple loads operating simultaneously. So PLT can be find out the using the equation square root of sigma I equal to 1 to n PSTI cube divided by n, where n is the number of PST, that is short term severity, short term flicker severity readings, and is determined by the duty cycle of the flicker producing load. The purpose is to capture one duty cycle of fluctuating load. If the duty cycle is unknown, the recommended number of PST reading is 12. The limit of PLT is 0.8 unit. So that is what is the long term severity measurement.